Hey everybody, it's Terry. Welcome back to Tim Travels. If I look a little bleary-eyed, it's because I just woke up. I'm, as Lyle from No Hippie Trucking and Transportation would say, I'm not solar powered. I've been I kind of was on the night shift. Part of it's my fault because of my hours were kind of skewed for a couple of reasons. And so, like, at midnight tonight, I'm only getting back about, I think, 5 hours and 5 minutes. So that'll give me, because I got a little bit left over from today, it'll give me like 6 hours. And my 90 is about 248 miles away, which is in Philadelphia. So I'm at the, I think this is a pilot, either Pilot or Flying J, in Sturbridge, Massachusetts. Got in here this morning. There was a little bit of, there was plenty of parking this morning when I got here, because I drove overnight from Maine down here. Yeah, so we just been like vegging today. I got this drop tomorrow morning at 09 in North Philly, so probably shoot for being down there around 7 so I can avoid a little bit of traffic. I'm still not sure what route I want to take. That's one of those decisions, right? Like I know New York City area pretty well. I've been there lots of times for business over the years. I've driven into the city, into Manhattan lots of times for just visits or going to the Metropolitan Museum of Art, or just and we had a tradition of taking our kids there on their 10th birthday. They could take a friend and they could pick what they wanted to do, and so we've had some really fun, really memorable trips to the city over the years. And I'm not super daunted by the Cross Bronx Expressway, except I don't have a lot of time, so I'm kind of considering going across the Tappan Zee Bridge and going down 287 to catch the Jersey Turnpike farther south. And that's more miles, but it's less likely that I'll be caught in some, like 4 lanes down to 1 construction stuff, or, just craziness that you get around the GW Bridge. So that's probably the route I'll take, plus it's less tolls, just generally speaking. So we'll see. I might have to like drop the hammer, and then because I got a trailer on my back that really does need to be in the shop, so I'm probably gonna have to get up to Pittston somehow tomorrow and get that done. Hopefully yeah, we'll be able to do all that. So real quick today, huge victory for hardworking people that don't get paid enough, and whose organizations make money hand over fist. And no, I'm not talking about truckers or a lawsuit against any trucking company. I'm talking about the Supreme Court decision against the NCAA, which, by the way, is one of the organizations I just, for whatever reason, I just loathe. That and maybe the U.S. Anti-Doping Agency, I hate them too. I hate Travis Tiger. But anyway, so what the Supreme Court basically said is, hey, you guys treat student athletes bad, and there were issues with educational, like, compensation and stuff. And so the ruling is basically going to allow for student athletes to be paid a stipend up to like $6,000 a year. And I remember when Rick Majerus was the head basketball coach at Utah, he got in trouble with the NCAA because he bought food for his basketball players. Like, and I don't think a lot of people understand this, that not all sports have a training table and a training like regimen where they're considered in season all the time. So I've known lots and lots and lots of college athletes, a lot of them because I was at the Naval Academy, and they were my midshipmen in my company. Now the Naval Academy and the service academies are a little bit different animal. They still have all the same rules that the NCAA uses with any other school, except because they're midshipmen and they have other non-school related duties, they get paid monthly. And also, they can always get fed because they're considered to be in the military, right? 3 squares and a cot. They always get that. So, like everybody at the institution is on scholarship, basically. But for a lot of people, like I knew a guy that played basketball at Virginia Tech. I knew a guy that played football at Virginia Tech, and it's a grind for those kids, and those schools are making money hand over fist. Like if you look at the NCAA just signed a deal for March Madness that I think extends the contract like 10 years. It's worth $1.1 billion per year. That's just for the tournament. That's just for the NCAA tournament. Forget about all the other stuff that goes on, conference tournaments, just big name games, in season, on ESPN or all these other places that have rights. So, there are a lot of kids that are most of them are never going to cash in on all their hard work, all their sacrifice, and all the money that these universities and colleges have made off them while they were amateurs. And so but it's also ridiculous that a kid has to like scrounge for food when they're a high level athlete, but they're not in season or whatever. And so I'm just really excited that the NCAA is getting kicked in the stones on this one. It's about time, and it's like you got. You get student athletes recruited from like really desperate family situations, like their families are poor or whatever. I could tell you that even though that kid goes to some big time school, Clemson, Alabama, Ohio State, right? It's still a struggle. Like it's a struggle for his family to even his or her family to even get to the games. And, oftentimes they have to pay just to see their kid play. Players get some tickets, but, you know what I'm saying? It's like all of these rules, it's like it is a dictatorship. And like I said, it's high time that we put a stop to some of this nonsense. So it's another, and believe it or not, this is another victory for organized labor. There are hundreds and hundreds of suits being handled by lawyers around the country for these student athletes, and I can't get my eyes to focus. And so this is a victory for people who generate revenue for their institutions, that they can get some additional compensation, and that the rules that the NCAA is had in place are kind of going to be changed. We all know there's big money in sports, and we all know there has been cheating. This, I think, will actually level the playing field, because there won't be donors giving cash to some kid on the sideline. It'll actually make it fairer for everybody, and it'll make it easier for good athletes to pursue their dreams and represent a college or university. So I'm really happy about that. And we'll see what happens, but I think this is a great outcome. So anyway, like I said, we're here in Massachusetts. It's the Bay State. the home of like massholes and crazy drivers, but it's also a pretty cool place. I used to come out here during the summer when I was a kid because I lived over in Western New York, and my dad worked over here on railroad projects. He worked for Loram, which is still a big railroad construction company, back in the day, and so I would come over here and stay in the Berkshires, and then he worked out on Cape Cod, so that was kind of cool. So yeah, I have good memories of Massachusetts. And believe it or not, traffic wasn't too bad today. It was crazy on Saturday, but everybody was trying to get somewhere. But it wasn't bad today. So anyway, take care. I will catch you soon. We're gonna have a good week this week, and I'll probably get back to you when I get up to Pittston. Talk to you then. Be safe. Bye.